We have to keep celebrating Black history so that our kids will learn our history.
To know our history, to know where we've been, so where we know we do not want to go back to. And I go back and reflect back in the days with Harriet Tubman, who was a lady that was willing to fight for our freedom and bring us from the South to the North, identifying that there was multi-ethnic groups that was willing to embrace us, to treat us as humans and not as animals. And then you also have the Frederick Douglass, who was willing to step up to the plate and take on the predominant white race to identify that we are in fact equal and we are tired of being abused, and to continue to have a number of newspapers to support our efforts to abolish slavery. And then we also have our fights with NAACP, and we're glad to have Thurgood Marshall, who was our first African American on Supreme Court Justice, to identify that yes, we are fighting, we're moving forward, because we're now being recognized that we are in fact a force to reckon with. And over the years we keep having a number of African Americans who have been a pillar of our community to say that yes, equality is here today. And as we heard the other day at the Martin Luther King event with Stevie Wonder, that we have overcome and we're continuing to move forward.
It's an opportunity for us to recognize the Black leaders here in our community, so that our young generation of African American Black youth that will have mentors to look up to, mentors that can come out and help them be contributing citizens for our community. So it's a time to celebrate the good things that we have here in the beautiful city of Inglewood. I think that we should, throughout the year, celebrate and recognize all people, regardless of what color they are. There's specific months that we pay special tribute to different cultures or different leaders or representatives, and I think that's important. You know, but I think it's about treating people right all the time. It's about recognizing the good contributions that people make, not only here at a local level, regional, statewide, and throughout the world. We have to stay focused on the good things that we're doing all the time, not just 1 week or 1 day of the year. It should be constant, and we should always be reminded of the good things that we have and the people that went before us so that we can have a better life.
It's not only for us, it helped other races of people. We should learn a history of some of the Hispanics or the Asian Americans, because it bonds us together as a one people. Because if you don't understand someone, you will never be able to work with them, not truly work with them. So you have to understand where they come from, what shaped their being.
In a community like ours, it takes on a sense of pride, which it should. But more importantly, you know, it opens conversations. You know, I can tell you that my kids, they come in and they talk about either Martin Luther King Day, the President's Day, the fact that it's Black History Month. And what that offers us is an opportunity to open up and really teach them what we learned when we were young. Of course, the folks that grew up 50 years ago, they learned certain lessons. When I grew up, we learned certain lessons here in Inglewood, and now they're learning certain lessons. They're not identical, but they follow the same path in the same direction, and they show us progress. I think to be really, to understand the value of Black History Month and understand the value of Martin Luther King Day, we should just imagine that we don't have neither of the two. Because if you imagine that, imagine them living through just a whole year where it doesn't, those conversations are never sparked. Those reminders are never there. You know, and I think that if you focus on it that way, more important than saying what they mean, it's imagine a world without them and what we would talk about and how we would address those issues. So that's some of the value I see.
As a boy brought up in the South, I experienced things that I hope my kids and other kids will never experience, because there was no race relation at that time. We were separate all the way. My wife and I were blessed to go to college, and we were in college together when at that time, we were demonstrating. Yeah. Most of the schools in the South was doing that. We were no different. And as always, they were waiting on us. So they had the dogs ready, the hose ready, and lots of people shouting and cussing and spitting at us. That's all a part of what I lived through. And it shaped me to who I am today. Remembering is painful, but it's true.
Well, you know, we're a multicultural community and our country is definitely very diverse, but celebrating Black history is not meant to divide us and set us apart. It's to allow us to appreciate and magnify our sense of self-worth and self-determination to be a better component of this melting pot that is America.